Kaguku eki Gojira Kayo Otokayo for no Daikisen.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucimus Prime here. So it's time for a special movie review today, and today I'm going to be reviewing, of course, a film from the 1950s. And this is a groundbreaking film, of course, in the genre for kaiju movies, because today I'm going to be reviewing, of course, the original film appearance for a character who's gone to be a very iconic kaiju monster in cinematic history, originating, of course, in Japan, created by Toho. And this film, of course, is none other than 1954's Godzilla. So this, of course, is the original film, of course, and this is directed by the absolute legend, which is Ishiro Honda, may he rest in peace. And so, now, how was this film made then? So, this film, of course, entered production after Japanese-Indonesian co-production collapsed. And then, after that, as well, E.G. Usuraburi, who, of course, is a special effects person for this film, originally proposed for a giant octopus before filmmakers decided on a dinosaur-inspired creature. And this film also pioneered a form of special effects called suitmation, in which a stunt performer wearing a suit interacts with miniature sets. And the filming ran for 51 days, and special effects photography ran for 71 days. And the film then premiered in Nagoya on October 27, 1954, and received a wide release in Japan on November 3rd, so this year it'll be 70 years old. Wow. The film was met with mixed reviews upon release, but was a box office success, winning the Japanese Movie Association Award for Best Special Effects, and the film earned 183 million yen in distributor rentals, making it the 8th highest grossing Japanese film of that year. And then in 1956, there was a heavily re-edited Americanized version titled Godzilla King of Monsters, released in the United States. And this film, of course, helped spawn the multimedia franchise recognised by Guinness World Records as the longest-running film franchise in history. And Godzilla since then has become an international or popular culture icon. And of course, this film, and of course, E.G. Tsuburaya, of course, have been largely credited for establishing the template for the tokusatsu media. And it's been regarded since then as one of the best monster films ever made. When it comes, of course, to my reaction to this film then, so I saw a film earlier this year for the first time, and in this recording I've literally just got done rewatching it. And I can definitely say very confidently that this movie, in my opinion, is an absolute masterpiece. It's, in my opinion, one of the greatest films ever made, a groundbreaking film in cinematic history, and just absolutely incredible, in my opinion, from start to finish. And a film, without this film, we wouldn't have this iconic franchise at all. So what is this movie about then? So, in the film, Japan's authorities deal with the sudden appearance of a giant monster whose attacks trigger fears of nuclear holocaust in post-war Japan. So, now, what do I think is great about this film then? So, I think this film, in my opinion, has a really great cast of actors who play really great characters. The characters in this film are very likeable and, in my opinion, really well written and well portrayed by their actors. Something, of course, that you need, of course, for these films. So, I definitely love the casting of this film's main character, which is Akira Takarada as the character Hideto Ogata. I think Akira was definitely, in my opinion, really great as Hideto in this film. Definitely did a really brilliant job, and may rest in peace. I also, as well, definitely really loved Momoko Kochi as the character Emiko Yamane. Definitely also a great casting as well. She was so good in this film, in my opinion, as Emiko. I also, as well, definitely really loved Ahiko Hirata as Dr. Daisuke Serizawa in the film as well. May rest in peace. Yeah, the cast in this all did a really brilliant job. There's also, as well, Takashi Shimura as Dr. Kayohi Yamane. May Takashi rest in peace. And just name a few, really. I think the entire cast did a really brilliant job in this. And when it comes, of course, to Godzilla's stunt performer, I definitely really loved Haru Nakajima as Godzilla himself. I think he was definitely brilliant in this, doing the stunts for Godzilla. And he'd gone to play him in 12 films since then, which is definitely really awesome. So I love how he coming back to play Godzilla for 12 films. May he rest in peace. It's a really big shame how a lot of the cast from this film is sadly no longer with us. It really sucks. But they definitely left a big legacy, of course, with this film, because their legacy was definitely immortalised thanks to this masterpiece of a movie. Also, as well, one thing about this film I definitely really love, and I've got to give lots of praise to, of course, the set design for this film, is definitely, of course, the scenes of destruction from Godzilla, because it's still really shocking how this is a film from the 50s. You know, it's going to be 70 years old this year, and it has absolutely incredible scenes of Godzilla in action, being the kaiju we all know and love. Because, I mean, obviously, of course, the film has plenty of scenes introducing us to human characters and getting to know them, and of course, their plans, of course, to take down Godzilla. So it does a great job balancing it out, of course, for humans and Godzilla. And when it comes to Godzilla scenes, well, wow. Like, it really does shock me how old this film is, because it's hard to believe it's that old, because the destruction scenes, in my opinion, hold up phenomenally for a 50s movie. They did a really great job with practical sets, of course, for the stunt performer to perform in as Godzilla. And the explosion effects were absolutely brilliant, just groundbreaking. And especially as well the scene where Godzilla first ever breathes his iconic atomic ray. Like, it's just so amazing how well they did it in this film. Because everything that's hit by it, of course, melts like it was made out of acid. And also other times as well, the way it can cause things to explode in the film too. The way they did it in this film was just brilliant with destruction, just absolutely nailed, just incredible. And like, they definitely really nailed the tension and the horror of the film as well, in my opinion. They just did such a brilliant job with this. Like, I even heard of, apparently in the 50s, this film actually did terrify the audiences, because in a screening as well, the audience actually evacuated the theatres out of fear after a scene, of course, where Godzilla actually destroys the Toho Theatre in the film, because he does destroy the Toho Theatre, of course, in the film. And it scared away people who are watching it, which is understandable, because it's pretty terrifying in really how much this film shows Godzilla destroying things. And all the great things too as well. I definitely as well really love the musical score in this film as well, which is of course composed by Akira Ifukube, which is definitely, in my opinion, really great music. And I especially think the theme song for the film is very iconic, and it will go on to, of course, be used later on in future films. And I love as well how the Monsterverse paid tribute to it as well with music in that, which is definitely really cool. Love how I did that. It just shows you how iconic this film is and how it's never going to get old at all, because it's still relevant to this day as an absolute masterpiece in cinema. And also, as well, I also think the pacing for the film is really great too, because the film is 96 minutes, and in my opinion, it's paced really well. Like I said before, I love how it builds up to Godzilla's first appearance by, of course, first of all introducing us to humans, of course, who are going up against Godzilla. And, of course, making the decision, of course, to use nuclear weapons on him, of course. And then, of course, we get to see Godzilla in action. Once we see Godzilla in action destroying things, the pacing, in my opinion, is fantastic, because it goes by so well. The film never gets boring or rushed, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's paced fantastically for 96 minutes. Just brilliant, in my opinion. Just absolutely incredible from start to finish. And of course, it's thanks to this film we, of course, got the iconic, you know, franchise of Godzilla with lots more films to come, both made by Japan and also by America as well. And there's maybe other countries too that make Godzilla films too as well, but it's mainly, of course, Japan that made the films, because Godzilla, of course, is a Japanese franchise, so I'd expect there to be lots of Japanese films by Godzilla. The still that I've yet to watch, because the only one that I've seen by Japan since this film, of course, is -1, which I'll definitely, of course, be reviewing next week, which I can't wait to do. And yeah, the film is just absolutely iconic. The film itself is iconic from start to finish. Even the poster is also iconic. It's a very recognisable poster, and of course, it's literally, of course, on my shirt here that I've been wearing in these reviews. So I just had to get this from HMV to wear for these reviews, absolutely, because it's a very iconic poster. Something definitely worth wearing on a shirt, absolutely. And when it comes, of course, to this film, personally, I don't have any bad qualities of this film. Like, just because it might be old, you know, you probably think maybe the effects may not age well, but personally, though, I think the effects, in my opinion, are concealed really well, thanks to, of course, filming in black and white, for example, and also, as well, the way it's done practically, it's, in my opinion, brilliant, because it didn't really focus on visual effects per se, it just did it with practical effects, and in my opinion, that helps the film age beautifully, because from experience of watching films, I personally think practical effects can hold up better than CGI most of the time. And this one was definitely a massive example of that, because considering it's 70 years old this year, I think it holds up very well, thanks to, of course, the amazing visual effects for it when it comes to practical sets they use for this, and the stunt performing of Godzilla by Aaron Nakajima and Katsumi Tezuka. So I think, you know, it holds up really well in that sense. So I definitely really love this film. It's, in my opinion, a masterpiece in cinema. It's definitely my favourite film from 1954 as well that I've seen, because I'm not seeing no films of that year, just this film so far. And it's definitely, in my opinion, an absolute masterpiece from start to finish. So if you guys want to see how Godzilla began, I'd recommend this film strongly, because it does an absolutely brilliant job building up to an iconic monster's first ever appearance so well. And the film is just absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. So this is me, of course, doing my review for 1954's Godzilla. And of course, happy anniversary to it, because it turned 70 this year. So happy anniversary to it. It's an absolute masterpiece. So if I was to give a film a score out of 10, because it's definitely one of my favourite films of all time, an absolute masterpiece in cinema, I would definitely give it, for me, a full-blown 10 out of 10. Because the story is fantastic, and with well directed by Ishiro Honda, with a great cast, with likeable, well-written characters, and phenomenal effects for Godzilla himself, and brilliant scenes done so well. Just incredible, worth every single second. I love this film very much. And stay tuned next week, because I'll be covering -1, which I'm very excited to do. Can't wait to do that. So guys, this is me, of course, doing my review for 1954's Godzilla, the original film where it all started. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to note in the comments what you guys think of Godzilla, from the original film if you've seen it, or in comments below what you think of it. Also, be sure to join the team, press and subscribe if there's content in the future. And long live the King of the Monsters.